So, welcome all to the Gno.land core team developer weekly call. Today's the 17th of April, 2024. Here, I'm going to screen share the agenda, but also you guys have the link pinned in the chat. We will start as usual with the first section, which if you're new, is the what to know section. So just the TLDR of what's been going on. And we have an announcement that Maxwell has joined the team. Yay. Hi, welcome. I don't want to put you on the spot, so it's okay if you don't want to say anything, but if you want to give an introduction, feel free.
Yeah, he mentioned in the chat that his family is asleep.
Oh, okay. Better to let them sleep. Okay, so then moving on, the next topic that we're going to address is the long anticipated test 4 roadmap. And I think Nemanja is going to give us a rundown or like short status update on it. I guess I'll just click on the is this the right link, Nemanja, the
Yes.
no report? Okay. And you'll give run through. Okay.
All right, so we mentioned test 4 as a milestone on our previous call, and I know some of you have already looked in the repo and checked out the milestone. The Unblock team even published some content on this. Congrats for being proactive. I just wanted to quickly mention our project board. So this will be our source of truth going forward. So any development by the core team should show up on this board. And this view specifically, test 4 launch, are the items that we want to work on in order to launch test 4. Another view there is test 4 post-launch. So that one focuses on the items that will be part of our rolling release schedule after the launch. Why I'm saying this, because if you go back to the test 4 launch view, so we have a number of items here that we want to cover, and this is a great opportunity for you all to get involved. If you see an item in the to-do or in the backlog that sounds interesting to you, that's an opportunity for you to pick it up and reduce the workload for us, and you'll be able to contribute and possibly even get a grant based on this. So take a look at the backlog, take a look at the to-do list, and let us know if there's something that you want to drive. That's all.
That's all. That's a lot. That's a big project board. So I don't know if there's any questions on test 4 that we want to get now, or if we should move on.
I'll be here so we can take questions at the end of the call.
Cool. So we have a contribution. We just merged the terminating analysis pull request or feature from a new contributor, I believe. I don't know. It looks like Petar, you're the one who's been working here on this, but that's I don't know if anyone wants to add anything, but it's great to see this.
Just as a high-level summary, this PR adds checking that your functions end with the sort of terminating statement, which is like, as if you work with Go, you probably know that if your function is supposed to end like if your function is supposed to return something, then Go will complain if you have a return statement at the end of it, or you should have something like an infinite for loop or any other kind of thing which is supposed to sort of terminate the function. So this PR adds that in the Gno VM.
Okay, we also had last week the intro to Gno.land in Tokyo. So Leon will be publishing soon a quick recap on how that event went and the attendance and the topics that were discussed. It looks like the next one is we have a new Gno.land mode. I think this is Milos.
Who added this in?
I did.
It's because I like Morgan's comment down here. It doesn't match my water bottle.
Yeah, I didn't think about the water bottle. Damn, that was a missed opportunity. Yeah. Basically, what this PR is about is we tidied up some of the log lines that you would see when you were starting out the node. The ASCII art that you see is just an added bonus to the PR because every cool blockchain client has like super intricate ASCII art when you actually start it. It says like the version and stuff like that, but ours is just a very simple ASCII logo. We can change it always, right? Just added it as like a fun thing when you start to know, so you just don't see a blob of transactions coming along. It's, you know, you see like actual usable data now.
It's fun when someone else puts in one of your pull requests in the agenda.
Yeah, I imagine people seeing this PR and they're like, what are these people doing?
Okay, so moving on to what's planned in the next 2 weeks, which this seems like an exciting one. The emit an event PR that's been in progress. I don't know if someone wants to give an update on the status and like how soon it will be merged and what this means.
It's actually ready. The core implementation of it is completely ready. We just need one more approved from the core team to merge it, and I think Gavin resolved all of the comments left by Manfred, so we should be good to go.
So who will be the first?
I asked Jay to make a review.
Oh, okay.
I can request a change to block the PR until you make a review, maybe.
I'll be doing a quick review of it today as well.
Okay, it's a few more reviews, but that's really exciting. It looks like we've got Mark up next with the NoVM debugger and an update here. Mark?
Yes. About the GnoVM debugger, there was a last command from Morgan, and I'm still spinning my head around it.
Okay, hold on.
It's I think it was super obvious, but it's not. And but definitely it will be ready and will be merged definitely whatever happens in the next 2 weeks. So that's for sure. And I'm still looking at the best way to address the last remark from Morgan. It's not blocking, but it's a nice to have if we can make it better, and especially because it's this code will remain for a long time probably, so it can make it good at the first time. That will be a plus. So that's it. But anyway, that there will be it will be merged whatever happens.
Any comments, Morgan? Or
Yeah, I don't have much to say aside from what Mark said. There's I think a few issues on on some parsing of expressions within the VM. But you know, I agree. Like this is an important milestone in GNOME development, and I look forward to seeing this merge too. So, here's to that.
okay, so moving on to the JSON RPC refactor PR. I enjoyed reading this PR. about
yeah.
explain what I wanted to accomplish before you get discouraged reading this.
I thought it was going to be a very easy fix, and then I realized after trying to make it work without breaking anything, it was impossible. And what this PR basically does is it introduces a WebSocket client. So usually when you would create an RPC client, so like new HTTP, there was like a argument that you would put down, which is like WebSocket, but that argument was actually completely useless. It didn't create a WebSocket client for you. And like the reason why this didn't work was because kind of the architecture that we had for WebSocket request parsing wasn't really supportive of the interfaces that were requiring you, that were enforcing the client to look like a certain way, right? So what I actually did is I went in and I cleaned up the client code. I added integration tests. I added, yeah, pretty much everything, coverage tests, end-to-end tests for all of the endpoints that it's offered. I reworked the batch system, so now you can create batches. It doesn't even matter what if they're over HTTP or WebSockets. They all work the same. And yeah, that's basically the PR. So now you can create WebSocket clients and use batches, and it's just going to decrease the network overhead that we have for all of our tools, because we use clients for basically everything, the indexer specifically. Yeah.
And it looks like I think the next one is also, as you said, a much needed spring cleaning for Noki.
Oh yeah, this was an initial PR where I wanted to add support for deriving addresses based on either a mnemonic or just like an account path. And it started out as a subcommand, and then after like the comments, we realized that we actually wanted to make this flag, and I realized that if I had added this as a flag, the Gno.land code would basically explode. So I segmented out the code, just cleaned it up a bit, added some tests. So that's what the PR is about. It doesn't change the functionality of Gno.land. It just cleans everything up and adds the original functionality that I needed for deriving the addresses.
And then last but not least, it looks like, Morgan, you're giving us an update on the Gno.land node that will soon be performing full type checks.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned this a while ago, but this PR essentially adds type check to the VM keeper. So what that means is that you will not be able to publish on-chain code that is invalid according to the Go type checker. So essentially, like if Go build would fail on your code, then it will be rejected by the chain. And this kind of type checking system will for now just be on chain, but with another PR that is linked here, we'll also add it to Gno.land so that it will integrate eventually also in the editors. Not that one, another one, Michelle. Anyway, it's at the top. Yeah, it's form type checking and calling method, that one. Yeah, we should be. I'm trying to move along and like get it reviewed. Eventually, with sort of another upcoming change, this will allow us to better support different like new standard libraries, also in transpilation. Which yeah is important for a whole lot of reasons. Yes, Jeff?
If there's a realm function declared as returning an int and your code returns a bool, will this catch it?
Yep.
All right. Because I got sidetracked on that for a while. Beautiful.
Well, that's good feedback on the pull request. Okay, so unless there's anything else on that, Morgan, shall we move on to the Gno.land blockchain section?
Yes, please.
Okay. Oh, I think this one I didn't see who. Okay, yeah, sorry, Guillem.
No, it's merged. We were talking about this, I think, in the previous one, but it has been well merged. Apart adding like a beautiful color, it also like make much more readable error. Even it's a bit hacky on how we do that. At least for now, it's work. So that's the principal thing, the main thing. Yeah, I don't use like conventional logger for this one, as it's meant to be used like on the side and have like in permanent visual when you are working to have a visual on what's happening. So I kind of made something homemade plus using like another thing, another logger, which make the color pretty cool.
Yeah, this
and yeah, that's it for it.
Okay, and I think this one is by one of our student contributors. Melik, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he's on the call, but the TL, oh yeah, he is. Anyway, the TLDR is that this allows yeah, this makes UFMT work on runes rather than bytes, which means that like UTF-8 multi-byte symbols are supported, like emojis or Chinese and Japanese characters, without creating bugs. Thanks again for the contribution.
Thank you. I think this someone might have to give a quick update on this one. I think Leon with the time zone wasn't able to join, but this has been merged. I don't know if anyone can get a quick highlight on it and how it's impacting.
Yeah, this is just further adding support for the add package transaction in a Gno client. So just trying to go ahead and match the set of things that Gno client can do with what Gno key can do.
Okay. And this, sorry, Wugnot. I think, I don't know who can tackle this one and the updates on R3V4S's contribution.
I think it's supposed to be pronounced Revis. Anyway.
I'm always appreciate it though.
Yeah, this PR changes the realm for wrapped Gno, so that its functions instead of taking in STD address, they will actually take in address or name from the user's package. So in other words, you can pass a username to Gno rather than just an address. Just a nice addition that from OnBlock.
Thank you as always. And another one from Melik. I don't know if, I guess maybe I don't know if someone wants to cover it, but thank you also for the contribution. The Ruan student group is really...
Yeah, Melik, if you want to say a couple of words, otherwise, you're free to skip that.
Yeah. Yeah, if you ever have feedback like on these calls about your the process, and I mean, feel free to jump in. I know we always have an agenda and we go through it, but like it is, we do want it to be open for people to comment. But if not, okay. So let's cover what's coming in the next 2 weeks. So more no-dev UX design work. Do you want to give us a run through?
Yeah. So this one I think was a feature like for people like who are using Gno.dev It was a wanted feature,
Yeah.
which basically load all your key from the key base and inject it into Gno.dev. So you have like already found on all the key you have on the key base, but it's also enable like to upload realm with a default creator. So you can choose the creator you want for this realm. You can put deposit on it. You can add key directly by flag. You can also pass a balance file to add like a full balance with a lot of key with the phone you want. So yeah, I hope with this one you will have like more flexibility with Gno.dev. And my next target will be to load TX file transaction, and also you can save TX file transaction from Gno.dev. So this will be my next target, and then I think I will make a little pause with Gno.dev to focus on other priority. Yep, is that it for me?
And just I'll be copying Mila's joke from the chat, but we could indeed like start making investment rounds even just on Gno.dev. But
Oh, okay. Man, I'm missing all the jokes because of my screen sharing. I should say them out loud. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. So now we're still on the no key, no dev. Oh, it's also I don't know if we want to cover this, if Morgan or Manfred
Sure.
have a comment.
I'll take on this. So the root makefile will now start with this PR. It will now start having install in like you will now install Gno.dev by default when you run make install. So I did like from what I understand, this was Leon discussing with Manfred, but anyone who's worked in Realms has worked with Gno.dev, and it seems just like a sensible choice.
Yeah, basically the goal was to be able to on docs.gno.land to say please clone the repo and run make install, and it should install what you need to start writing Gno. So the most common case, and what you need is Gno key, make transaction, Gno CLI, Gno VM, the language itself, so you can run Gno test, etc. And Gno.dev, which should be the main way of just writing contracts locally. Then we also want, I don't know if this PR also includes the make install all, but we also want to add the make install all that will try to install everything. So there is also something that we install Gno.land, Gno.web, and other binaries. But this one is basically the one we should suggest people if they want to just give a try, and we don't want them to run a full node. We don't want them to, no, we want them to be able to start writing code locally, and they need just 3 binaries.
Okay, yep, looks like this is the one. The details. Okay, and then last but not least, we've got a no client update. I think also from Leon, but if someone has a quick how it applies to others.
Yeah, just extends functionality of GNOME client to have more stuff about block results from the RPC node. So extending the surface of functionality even more.
Okay, so that is the conclusion on section 3, Gno.land blockchain. Manfred, shall we get an update from you on the governance and DAO structure?
We still don't have the repo. We're working on it with Valet. It should arrive soon. So next time. Sorry.
What is the repo going to?
The repo will be the equivalent of Atom1's Genesis repo. It's a standalone repo dedicated on discussions regarding tokenomics, questions. So everything regarding the Genesis, the constitutions, the main DAO's designs, so Works DAO, Gov DAO, etc. the design themselves, also the design of the inter-DAO system, so the equivalent of IBC between DAOs, how a DAO can communicate with another DAO. And like, as is the case for Atom 1's Genesis repo, the goal is to break down the current state, what needs to be tackled, and invite people to basically take a topic. So someone can just focus on GovDAO and ignore the rest. Someone else can try to bridge the gap and glue everything together. Someone can challenge a specific paragraph from the Constitution or whatever. So yeah, look at Atom 1's Genesis repo, which was, in my opinion, a success in terms of standalone repo, focused on clarifying a plan, writing Constitution, asking good questions, challenging ideas, and open to everyone, including non-developers. So it will be like the monorepo of the DAO architecture, and probably it will never have any code inside. Code will stay in the main monorepo, but it will contain everything else, especially the discussions. So all the contribution DAO topic that was known for maybe more than 1 year now will be migrated to this repo. So stay tuned, because definitely we need this repo to clarify. I can explain with words, but the repo will be definitely better to understand.
Okay. Okay, so stay tuned, and then I'll add a link here to give reference to the Atom 1 Genesis repo, because it is pretty it's pretty good. Section 4. Let's move on to VM and Gno. So now we are using an atomic counter for pre-processing.
Yes. So this is in fact this is strange, because the because the Gno VM is supposed to be fully deterministic and supposed to be to run in fully serial mode, and that's completely true when you run a normal program. But when you are running tests, it's not true, because the Go test suite is using parallelism as much as it can. And if we want to pass the race detector, which allows to detect inconsistency with the usage of memory and critical sections and things like that, we need to have we need to handle concurrency for this kind of structures. So there is very few variables. There is only one, in fact, in this huge package, which is used as a global counter, and it needs to be protected. And the best way to do this is to use atomic, which is a lockless way to handle parallelism with no overhead at all and no performance degradation. So this is what I did, and this is only a couple of lines of difference. But it will allow to run tests with the race detector, and this is the preliminary work, in fact, to improve the testing, the coverage, and also to make our test suite more rigorous. And that's it.
Okay. Thanks, Mark. So, oh, looks like we have some VM fixes by Petar to cover today. I don't know if Petar is here and can run us through the fixes that have been merged. Nope. Does anyone?
So there's yeah, this PR sort of improves on like how we process like the dependencies on top level, like global variables, right? So like in Go, there is like an initialization order, and if a variable depends on the other one, right, the one which is dependent on will be evaluated, created first. Of course, right, there is like the Go specification says that, you know, if there is a sort of preference, that will actually not let you compile the code. So yeah, this PR is sort of improving on that front. and sort of allowing variable initialization to work as it should.
I don't know if anyone has questions, but then we will move on to, you can now correctly declare types on pointer types. I think maybe someone briefly give,
who, can I speak?
Yeah.
This is this PR adds support for the essentially the syntax that put in like the notes. So you can now just have a pointer type there, and the Gno.VM will support it.
Cool. And last but not least in this group,
yep, this one is from I think from territory. So there is now a function in the standard library to do ED 25519 verification, and it uses directly like the implementation in the Go standard library.
Thank you, Omar. Okay, do you want to go through this last section, Morgan, with the various PRs that are being reviewed for the VM and No? I think
I'm not sure. I didn't have this. So I'm not 100% sure on this one, but as usual, we have the steady stream bug fixes. Somebody try speaking? No. Okay.
I was just going to say, I was going to say that Maxwell has quite a few that he's been working on. There's like a series of 3 or 4 PRs that are looking to address the various issues with data types in GNO. And also, I think Ray has one. I have one also related to types with assertion. So we've got quite a few that are currently in progress, and hopefully within the next 2 weeks will be merged.
Yep. I'll quickly go to the next updates.
Okay.
We are about to merge math overflow standard library. So this is like meant for the purpose where you sort of adding quantities like coins and coin/tokens, where you sort of want to absolutely make sure that nobody gets insanely rich all in one go just because you forgot to make an underflow check. So essentially, it's just the basic arithmetic operations, but if they overflow and underflow, there will be a second parameter which will return false, and you can use that to sort of panic your way out of the realm and say, hey, nope, this input generated an overflow, and you're about to hack this contract. So no, thank you. Then Petter is working on generic support. So this is kind of this is like to try to go make GNO catch up with the current state of Go. So as I'm sure you all know, since Go 1.18, we have generics. And in order to make sure that we stay up to speed with what exists in the Go community, and make sure that all the sort of libraries that exist in Go are still portable over to GNO, we are adding supports for generics. Not something excessively high priority, but something that we absolutely need to make sure that the Go community doesn't see us as the grandpas that haven't caught up with times. Then last but not least, Christoph added support for CodeQL. This is an automated tool by GitHub, which scans the repository for known vulnerabilities. Just routine security work to make sure that if something does happen, we have all the tools that we need to be alerted about it.
And just briefly, this is a we'll continue to add tooling into the CI/CD pipeline. There's no one tool that's sort of perfect for getting all the coverage for security issues that we'd want to look at. You know, none of this like really does the kind of careful business logic inspection that needs to happen by humans, but it's just a good sanity check that we can add. Main thing is that we'll integrate these slowly to make sure that it doesn't slow down the dev pipeline, because if you're not careful, you'll just get bogged down with false positives and stuff like that. So we're just going carefully here.
Okay. We're making fast progress. So looks like if there's nothing else for the team that's working on aspects of VM and Gno, or any questions on this, let's get to Tendermint 2. Dylan, do you want to tell us about the work you're doing on OpenTelemetry?
Sure. There's a new package in the Gno repo called telemetry that kind of lays the groundwork for doing the configuration that's necessary if you want to export metrics to something like you know, Datadog or Grafana, or choose your provider. And so the goal is here that we can use this package to kind of integrate various metrics into you know, these operations that are occurring in Gno.land node, specifically in like the TM2 package, so that we can ready to build a dashboard so node operators can kind of see what's going on under the hood.
Is there a question?
Yeah, brief question. Maybe Dylan could speak to this briefly. What kind of precautions do you think we need to take to make sure that we don't accidentally exfiltrate sensitive data through this, if any?
Like what kind of sensitive data?
Oh, yeah, any kind of data that you know, Gno developers might have on their systems around private keys or like environment variables, this kind of stuff.
So these the telemetry, or the metrics that are being collected, like we have to, you know, make commits to add each of those metrics so they get exported. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think we would want to add any, you know, add any new metrics in that would export sensitive data.
Well, sometimes it can happen accidentally, like someone might accidentally log something that's sensitive, but they say, oh, well, it's just being logged to my own machine, no big deal. And then that log gets exported through telemetry, something of that sort.
Yeah, I mean, well, this isn't log exporting logs at all. It's just like data, like metric data. But I guess you could potentially do something like that. I guess the answer is just careful review.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. And this is on the test 4 milestones. Okay. So Milos, do you want to give us also an update on what removing the need for empty stamps means?
Yeah, so this PR is actually solving a long-standing issue that we have currently in the code base. And if you've been building custom plans that generate transaction signature bytes for Gno, you'll run into this problem. Basically, the problem is when you're trying to sign a transaction, you're not really signing the transaction object. You're signing something that's called a sign doc. And this sign doc like has a few fields that are relevant and they make the signature unique, like the chain ID, the current account number, the current sequence, the feed, the messages of the transaction, the memo. But there is one field that's completely unused, which is time. And it's always initialized to 0 time. And more specifically, it's always initialized to the string representation of UTC 0 time. What this basically means is your client, if you're writing a client, for example, in Rust or in JavaScript or something that's not using these built-in Go methods that we offer in the repo, you need to add this time field as this 0 value. And it's completely useless. Like it doesn't have any any value to the actual signature or anything like that. So what this PR does is essentially just removes it, and it updates all of the signing code for like Gno client and stuff like that. But it's a breaking change, meaning that if your client still uses the old transaction signing way with the timestamp field, the Gno node is just going to reject it after we merge this because it's invalid, right? Because the node itself, what it does is when it receives a transaction, it doesn't look at your signature per se immediately. It constructs a sign doc on its own, and then it compares tries to extract the verify the signatures, and it's not going to match if you have a timestamp and the node doesn't. So yeah, this is it's actually a ready PR. The reason it's in draft is we have some cyclic import dependency nonsense with Gno faucet. But yeah, the PR is ready. So yeah, I've already reached out to Birdie and OnBlock to coordinate any kind of releases, especially for Adena, because Adena code maybe uses something like this under the hood. Or I know the JavaScript clients that we have literally a field for managing the timestamp. So we need to coordinate releases for these projects.
Cool. We're fine. We're actually already on coordinated release work. Okay, so I think last we've got another one from Milos, fetching the RPC endpoints.
Oh yeah, this is an old one, and I think it's one of the most requested RPC endpoints to date. It's basically an RPC endpoint where you can give the node the transaction hash, and it's going to return the result for you. And currently, this just doesn't exist. Like it used to exist, but it doesn't exist anymore. The reason it doesn't exist is because we moved the indexer logic out of Terminal into like a separate tool. What this PR does is it just introduces a very light database index that maps the transaction hash to the actual block and to the actual transaction index. So when you run the RPC endpoint, it just peeks into the database, constructs a result for you on the fly, and just returns it for you. But if you need like something that's much more heavy and that's basically an RPC on steroids, you would switch to something like the TX indexer. But this is just for a very nice quick check or quick check if you don't have like an indexer running or there's like no official indexer service. You can ask the node for this information, and it should be able to give it to you. Yeah, we should actually merge this soon. I'm waiting for Gillum to give the final blessing, but it should be on the way.
The final blessing, okay. And I think now we've made it to the end of our agenda. So long gone are the days we were on here for 2.5 hours. We're now finishing 10 minutes early. But does anyone want to grab some questions or add anything?
Jeff, I know you have.
Well, yeah, I always have questions, but the PR I'm interested about is in draft mode, so I'll hold off till next week.
And if we wanted to do our regular quick check on Gno.land, we've got one from Nemanja.
I hope you check the memes before the call.
No. So maybe I will table
I'm
that.
hoping you do like a check of the memes before. I'm not sure if there's anything inappropriate there right now, but
I read them. So
it's a gamble. Like,
it is gamble.
It's a very dicey move to show Gno.land.
Okay, I will take that risk next time since we've got our security guy on the call too. I did look through them, but next time I will ask the team to select the ones we should show. Yeah, tough crowd, right? Okay. Anyway, well, thanks. Unless if there's other questions, otherwise we are finished, and we'll see each other next week. Yep. Okay. Thanks everyone for your time and your contributions as always. Until next week. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.